Emily smirked as I declared my resignation. In response, I held a calm, unyielding gaze. Earlier, we had discussed the corporation's strategy to reduce workforce expenses, focusing criticism on supposed misuse of overtime benefits. Tom, likewise, seemed eager to support cost-cutting measures. Days later, my phone buzzed relentlessly with repeated calls from work. When I finally answered, the president demanded abruptly, "Who are you, exactly?" I chuckled dryly at the inquiry. "Lily Johnson," I replied, explaining that I am 59 years old with nearly 4 decades of loyal service since graduating from college. I described our organization's specialty, offering administrative support, particularly for executives, by managing clerical tasks and tax-related issues. Personally, I handled 45 clients, an overwhelming duty, despite part-time assistance. Though the job was challenging, I never allowed my resolve to falter. These clients, many long-term, relied on our services, and their struggles inspired my perseverance. Still, the constant hostility from Tom and Emily weighed heavily as I worked tirelessly at my desk. Tom, 7 years younger and now leading the tax department, had changed dramatically after his promotion 3 months ago. His once courteous manner became dismissive and filled with criticism. Whenever I sought resolution, he directed me to check the manual and warned me against missteps. Emily, Tom's assistant, joined the barrage of harassment, questioning my productivity and mocking my position. Neither knew I had declined a department head promotion years earlier. Regardless, I remained committed to fulfilling my responsibilities. Their antagonism continued unabated. Tom accused me of inflating overtime hours, calling it unnecessary. Emily echoed his complaint, claiming my overtime undermined departmental efficiency. Ironically, the overtime stemmed from Tom dumping a month's worth of client files on my desk, demanding completion within weeks. Staring at the pile of files after hours, I felt my energy drain. "Wait, all these are due this month?" I muttered in disbelief. Before I could voice concerns, Tom nonchalantly gathered his belongings and left. "I'm off." "Good luck," he said, indifferent. Emily followed, laughing mockingly as she exited. Examining the files, I realized some had been Emily's assignments, further compounding my frustration. Their goal became clear: they wanted me out. My expertise and deeper knowledge of taxation overshadowed Tom, whose aloof attitude alienated colleagues, except Emily, who curried favor due to his preference for younger employees. Despite the harassment, I pressed on, preparing tax filings for my clients while avoiding overtime claims to escape further criticism. One day, unexpectedly, I was summoned to the president's office. Under new leadership due to the previous president's sudden illness, the current president, a newcomer, seemed unfamiliar with the company's inner workings. Inside the office, Tom and Emily stood with smug expressions. The president delivered a shock: "Lily, we need you to resign by month's end." Confused, I asked why. Tom and Emily had accused me of excessive overtime, contrasting their zero-hour claims. The president, unaware of the truth, appeared impressed by their fabricated narrative. The reality? My overtime resulted from handling Tom and Emily's unfinished work. Revealing this could risk further blame for poor time management. Calmly, I explained my situation, insisting my efforts weren't abuse, but necessity. The president sighed, unconvinced, yet acknowledging insufficient evidence for further action. He maintained that my output didn't justify my hours, leaving me no choice but to agree to resign. Leaving his office, I noticed Tom and Emily grinning triumphantly. "Thanks for quitting," Emily sneered. Meeting their satisfaction with a quiet glare, I endured Tom's agreement, branding me as wasteful and an obstacle to cost efficiency. Watching their celebratory demeanor, I felt a deep exhaustion settle over me. I considered the transfer process, crafting detailed documents for each client. I ensured respectful farewells, organizing meetings with those I could see in person. Unable to secure time with the president, I opted for letters to notify clients about my successor. A week after leaving, as I savored a quiet moment at home, my phone buzzed. Noticing the company's caller ID, I hesitated. I had already finalized my departure and social insurance matters. Yet, persistent calls, some from Tom and Emily's private numbers, pushed me to reluctantly answer. When I picked up, the president's urgent voice cut through. "Who exactly are you?" he demanded. I chuckled wryly. "Just an unemployed former employee," I said. "Why do you ask?" He explained, his tone fraught with unease. "Since your resignation, 49 clients have requested to terminate their contracts." Panic laced his words as he begged for my return. Resignedly, I rose and returned to the office. There, I found Tom and Emily waiting. Their ashen faces and dark-ringed eyes betrayed sleepless nights. Startled by their worn appearance, I asked, "What happened?" Tom's glare hardened. "Since you left, we've been inundated with cancellation requests, not only from your clients, but even from potential new partnerships." "What did you do?" Emily chimed in, voicing similar frustration and implying foul play. Their disheveled state reflected the mounting pressure from lost accounts. Though I hadn't interfered, I suspected the underlying cause. "Our clients didn't stay for tax preparation alone," I said calmly. "They valued the customized strategies I provided. Without those, there's no compelling reason to remain." Tom shot back accusingly. "You orchestrated this." His voice rose as he grabbed my arm, leading me toward the president's office. Inside, the president fixed me with a searching look. "Lily, I need clarity," he said. Ignoring Tom and Emily's hostile tone, I explained evenly. "Clients chose us for tailored, results-driven guidance. They could find cheaper tax preparation elsewhere. My strategies retained their loyalty." Tom sneered, dismissing my claims, while Emily derided my supposed arrogance. Unperturbed, I elaborated, citing examples of how personalized services had fostered trust and retention. The president exhaled heavily, digesting my explanation. Then he revealed an unexpected twist. "My father, the former president, called me today. Some of your clients reached out to him, advocating on your behalf." Surprised, I listened as he recounted how these clients highlighted my indispensable contributions. The former president noted that, had I not declined promotions in the past, I would now occupy a role far senior to department head. Expressing regret, the current president apologized. "Would you consider rescinding your resignation?" he asked sincerely. Before I could respond, Tom interjected, visibly agitated. "Why her? Why not me?" Emily backed him up, insisting his leadership was superior and that I was undeserving of reinstatement. The president silenced them with a sharp tone. "Since Lily's departure, complaints from the tax department have surged. It seems you've been offloading your responsibilities onto others." Tom's face turned stark white as the president detailed his negligence, passing critical tasks, including Emily's assignments, to subordinates. The president pointedly remarked on the irony of Tom accusing me of exploiting the system. Then came a damning revelation. "We've also received reports of inappropriate conduct between the two of you," the president said coldly. Tom stammered, claiming innocence, but the president produced receipts from the accounting department showing misused company funds for personal meals. Confronted with this evidence, Tom faltered, visibly sweating. Emily grew pale as accusations of neglect, fraudulent claims, and violating workplace policies mounted. The president concluded firmly, "Both of you are terminated, effective immediately." Tom and Emily protested, pleading for leniency. "I have a family to support," Tom cried, his desperation palpable. Emily, on the verge of tears, apologized profusely, begging for a second chance. "I didn't mean to hurt anyone," she whispered. Observing their pathetic state, I offered measured advice. "Accept the consequences. Dignity matters." Tom, seething, snapped at me. "What would someone single like you know about responsibility?" I sighed, unbothered by his insult. "Tom, you orchestrated my dismissal. This is poetic justice. Own up to your actions." Defeated, Tom looked away, while Emily stood frozen, biting her lip. Sensing the moment, I turned to the president with a faint smile. "Should I disclose more details about their misconduct?" Panicked, Tom and Emily begged me to stop, dreading further revelations. I delivered a stern warning to Tom and Emily, making it clear that their unethical actions would inevitably surface. "It's better to face the truth now than to let things spiral further," I advised. My words left both of them visibly shaken, and they fell to their knees as the president made the decisive call to terminate them immediately. Later, I disclosed the full extent of their misconduct. Tom had fabricated business trips to spend time with Emily, and together they orchestrated insidious schemes to pressure employees they disliked into resigning. Their tactics included assigning impossible tasks with unrealistic deadlines and delivering unwarranted reprimands when I wasn't around to intervene. While many of the affected employees initially asked me to stay silent, their stories came to light after they moved on to better opportunities. Feeling it was the right moment, I revealed everything to the president. Outraged by their behavior, he vowed to withhold their final paychecks and launch an extensive investigation into their fraudulent expense claims. Tom, tears streaming down his face, pleaded with the president, citing his family's needs and begging for leniency, but the fallout from their actions didn't end there. News of Tom's affair with Mily spread, leading to his divorce and legal claims for compensation. Their choices had triggered a cascade of consequences they hadn't anticipated. I learned of their plight when Tom, desperate, reached out to me, asking for help persuading the president to reconsider. However, their reputations were irreparably damaged in the tightly knit industry. Word of their unethical conduct spread swiftly, making it nearly impossible for them to secure new jobs in the tax sector. Forced to adapt, they took up manual labor at construction sites to make ends meet, a stark contrast to their former positions. Emily, in particular, often called me in tears, begging for assistance. "Lily, I didn't mean for this to happen. I only wanted a better future, and I never even truly cared for Tom," she confessed, her voice laden with regret. Yet, I couldn't overlook the fact that their downfall was entirely self-inflicted. Their actions had caused significant harm to many, including myself. I firmly reminded Emily, actions have consequences. You can't escape the results of your choices. Despite her repeated apologies, nothing could undo the damage. As for me, I chose not to return to the company, despite the president's repeated pleas. Once asked to step aside, I felt no desire to revisit the toxic environment I had endured. Instead, I found peace working part-time at a friend's tax office. It provided a steady income while affording me the flexibility to enjoy life on my terms. With time, I began envisioning a future where I could establish my own practice, a tax office founded on integrity, respect, and genuine care for clients. This new chapter represented a fresh start, free from corporate constraints. In my own space, I could fully dedicate myself to providing exceptional service, building authentic relationships with clients, and fostering an environment where trust prevailed over hierarchy. It was the beginning of an exciting journey, a second life filled with potential and purpose. I looked forward to embracing the opportunities ahead, ready to shape my destiny on my own terms.